Okay. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, my American friends also call me Nick, so we're like two Nicks.
Yes, of
Anyway,
course.
so thanks for finding some time to talk to me. So I want to ask you some questions about your interesting life. I know you're a very interesting personality, also a traveler.
Yes, definitely
Yeah.
a traveler.
So tell me, which countries did you visit in your life?
Well, I don't know if I could list all of the countries that I visited, but the ones that I've been to most,
Maybe the most
US,
interesting ones. I don't know.
the most interesting ones,
Yeah.
Russia, Ukraine, and Armenia are the most interesting by far.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I've been to Southeast Asia, and it's interesting, but I don't know, something about Eastern Europe is just very interesting to me. I like Poland too. Warsaw is phenomenal.
Wow.
Warsaw is
Wow.
great.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Germany's also great. I like Germany a lot.
But
But
tell me, okay, tell me about the countries where you've lived for some time.
yeah, okay, where I've lived. Okay, so
I mean,
I've lived.
stayed more than a week, more than just a
Yeah.
tourist.
I've lived in Canada, Poland, Argentina, and America, obviously. So out
And
of
Russia.
those,
And Russia.
not for well, for longer than a week, I've been in Russia. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, but I don't think I wouldn't consider myself having lived in Russia.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Okay. Okay.
but
Tell me about your experience in Argentina. What was it like?
So Argentina is like they call it the Paris of South America because it's literally very similar to Paris, except not in Europe, obviously. The people are really interesting because they don't view themselves as South American. Oftentimes, they view themselves as Spaniards,
Europeans? Like
Italians. Yeah, it's
Europeans?
very interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
they would always tell me like, oh yeah, no, like we're not South Americans like the Brazilians or anything like
Yeah.
that. You know.
I know there is a lot of like white people in
Yes.
Argentina.
It's
Yeah.
the only part of South America where I don't stick out. Yeah. Because I've been to Ecuador, and in Ecuador, I stick out like a sore thumb.
Of course. Well, tell me, Nick, how did you feel comfortable in Argentina? Because you've lived,
Oh,
you said, for a year.
I felt very comfortable in Argentina. The only time I ever felt uncomfortable was not because I was unsafe. It was just because different cultural practices, like when somebody's dog dies, they just leave it on the side with the trash, and that kind of disturbed me. Um,
Really?
yeah, that was I didn't feel unsafe. I just felt
When
really
it dies or when it's killed by the car?
either one. But when it dies, like your dog in your house, you just put it out with the trash.
Oh,
And
that,
so just outside of houses and stuff in neighborhoods, you'll see a few dead dogs and stuff. It's
that's
really
kind that's kind of weird. Yeah.
yeah, that was the only thing that made me feel strange in Argentina, but never unsafe. Argentina, I think, is safe, but keep in mind that I'm also like a tall man with lots of tattoos, so that helps me.
Okay. Okay. Since we started talking about like awkward things, tell me about like things that you were surprised when you were in Russia or Ukraine with this Slavic culture. What's surprising for you?
Ah, the way that men act in the streets surprised me. Like
Like what? Like what?
there
How?
are large groups of men who walk together on the sidewalk, and I've never. It's just strange. Like they all group up, and it's like a pack of people
Is it
walking.
Russian people or?
Yeah, Russian and Ukrainian and Poland. People going to the park to drink. I liked that. That was kind of cool, but that was new for me. Um, uh, there's so many strange things about Russia, Russia and Ukraine that are just very different.
Okay.
But mostly to do with people's behavior. You know, people are not as talkative. People don't smile as much. Not that they're not happy, but like, you know, you can't just smile at somebody in the street.
Right,
Uh,
right,
you know,
right, right.
they give you really, especially those groups of men, give you really strange looks.
But were you prepared when you first came to Russia or Ukraine? Were you prepared? Like, did you know that? Did anyone tell you that Russian peoples are like that, or it was like a shock for you when you saw this?
I learned that in school, but learning something and experiencing it are two different things. You know what I mean? So like it was like, oh yeah, you know, Russian people aren't as talkative with random people. Okay, fine. But then when I'm there trying to make friends, that becomes a very difficult thing, you know,
Exactly.
because like little cultural things like that make a difference in you know, how you relate to people and stuff. So yeah, it was a challenge for sure.
Yeah, but I think it was interesting for you, right?
Oh, very, very, yeah. And I realize Russian people are very, very warm people. You just have to get to know them first. It's not like, you know.
Yeah, when you become like closer friends.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Nick, thank you so much for your time and for your answers. It was very interesting talking to you. Hope to see you in the next videos. Thanks,
Yes,
man.
of course. Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'll stop this video.